What's up guys, Positive here, and today we're gonna take a look at the banner. I'm also gonna show my summons after we are gonna take a look at the characters and if you should summon or not. In my honest opinion, you definitely should go for it. Unless you're just like me, stacked up on light units. Even then, do the discounts for raid ups. Obviously do a free multi, everyone should do a free multi. Why the fuck one should do the free multi? It would be just stupid, you know? Yeah, I feel like everyone should summon on this banner. And if you even have a lot of light units, you should still go for this because these characters are amazing. I already talked about it on my Twitter, again as I said on my Rising Steel Discord. Link is in the description below, by the way. Please join. We have cookies. Yeah, and let's take a look at the units and what do they do. So, the first, this we don't really need to read this. Let's go for this, of the Light Maiden Alice. So, this is our first new unit. It's another Alice. Yeah, another Alice. Her stats overall are really good. On the stats. The stats are actually amazing. Yeah, she has a good HP stat, a pretty nice MP stat. Her attack stat does not matter because she's a magic attack unit. Her magic attack stat is extremely solid, one of the best magic attacks in the game, and the best light magic attack stat in the game. She basically bodies version 1 Stacia in terms of her magic attack stat, and she bodies Ronnie, version 1 Ronnie. There are still characters that do have a better magic attack stat. From the top of my head, I don't remember Cardinal. Yeah, let's take a look at her skill set. So she's basically like Quinella. She's basically a Quinella in a way, except her soul skill is better and worse at the same time. You'll see what I mean. Let's take a look at her break skill, which is Skill Connect, Luminous Arrow B+. Obviously, we're looking at level 80 skills. Magic Attack Strong on a single enemy lowers additional increment on enemies inflicted with continuous damage when using Increment Break. Increment Break, 50%. It basically works the same way as Quinella. I don't remember the exact increase on top of my head, even though I do have Quinella at level 100 too. But the Increment Break should be around 60%, I think, with continuous damage inflicted, which is still good, especially if you use her with Ronnie, with version 1 Ronnie, who's actually her best buddy, because version 1 Ronnie enhances break, and she can do continuous damage, you know? So, her second skill is Luminous Shine A+. It's a magic attack extra strong on a single enemy. It deals added damage on enemies inflicted with continuous damage. Yet again, you need someone who can do continuous damage. But what's the difference between this skill and Quinella's skill? Because their breaks are exactly the same, but the difference, except Quinella's break is actually better because it's AoE. However, the soul, it's a 50-50, because it depends on what you need or like more. I do really like Quinella's charge attack on the soul skill, as someone who uses Quinella extremely often. And in this ranking event, I also obviously used Quinella because she's level 100 and she's a really solid light unit. But here, the extra strong on a single enemy with added damage instead of charge at 10% without continuous damage and added with continuous damage, which makes it around 15 to 20%, something like that. I don't remember exactly again from top of my head. But additional damage is still really good. It's not Asuna, Alio Asuna level of good, because Alio Asuna is AoE. But it's still a really solid... I hate my life. Why did I not turn off notifications? Okay, I'll have to edit that out, don't worry. So, then the debuff skill. If you follow me on Twitter, or you're in my SAOARS Rising Steel Discord, You know that I absolutely hate the current debuff skills, and I do think debuff skills have a lot of potential. It's just the current 2 debuff skills we have, which is Fizzle and this Alice. They're fucking terrible. They're absolute garbage. It's like the most useless skills in the game. I think single target heal, as bad as that is as a skill when you have AoE heal, it's still way better than this debuff, because this debuff is like super situational and it's only 10%. 10% is nothing. Like, Cathedral Kirito does 10% on his break, and that's, in my opinion, is better. Put this on her assault, you know? We don't need this an actual debuff skill like that if you won't increase percentage to at least 15% and make it work on everyone. If it worked on everyone, I would have been okay with it, or if it had at least an increased percentage like 15% or 20%. This is also the same complaint everyone, absolutely, including me, had with Berkuli's counter. That's his counter is basically only against non-elemental enemies. It's basically the same thing here, except at least Berkuli's counter also buffs my man, like all the allies, because it's not just a counter, it's an enhanced counter. Here, which makes it at least, you know, good everywhere, but just like truly is amazing against non-elementals. But here, it's just trash unless you're fighting against Dark, and even then, I doubt he would use this skill that much, in rankings at least, and like turn limited events, you know? Because it's only 10%, and instead of that, you can just do even more damage. And if you do what everyone does, you bring an unit that buffs attack, then you especially don't need it. You know, you just don't need it. So that's like my whole thing with this debuff skill. So next thing, we'll go to her incarnate skill. And I love her incarnate skill. Her incarnate skill is version 2 Solace Xenon incarnate skill. And this is the best incarnate skill in the game, in my opinion, by far. Because it does damage on all enemies, which is around 50 to 60k. Again, depends on the enemy, depends on your buffs, but like I'm talking like, let's say it's 50k, just cause it's on level 100 unit, for example. And then you have 30 more k with that additional attack, and then in total it becomes 80k and stuff like that. You basically understand what I mean. The additional hit does a lot of damage. And also continuous damage. So not only that, you also leave a debuff. I really loved that on version 2 Soul Xenon, I really love it here. And like, considering the other effects we have, other effects on incarnates are the same as skills, are not like better. Well, you'll see that when I talk about Leafa, even though I do think Leafa overall is a better unit. I'd say like Alice is probably top 5. I'm not sure if I'd put her above Alio Asuna. Because I do think like Alio, because the thing is, I'm gonna do a top 5 video tomorrow. And Alio Asuna and this Alice, they basically are interchangeable in their placing, so you can either put Alio Asuna at the 4th spot and Alice in the 5th spot, or the opposite. So yeah. Let's move to Leafa, who I do think is 3rd best unit of the game, and you can even say objectively the best unit of the game. You'll see when we get to her skills, because you see, her speed is good. She's not like, you know, fast like Alice. She's not the fastest unit in the game. She's not like 316 plus speed, so she's not like extremely fast. But she's still fast. She's still pretty fast. You know, she has above 310 speed, which means she's pretty fast. That's all I'm gonna say. Her HP stat is really good. I think it's actually better than Alice's. Let me check. Yeah, it is. Her MP stat is decent, her regular attack stat is decent, it's Cathedral Kirito level. This magic attack stat does not matter at all. Defense and magic defense, I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, her regular defense is higher than Alice's, and magic defense is lower than Alice's. Her crit is, I think it's higher than Alice's, I think it's pretty good crit. I don't think it's the best crit in the game. I think OG Xenon has 700 on crit. I'm not sure. but it's really solid. And now go take a look at her skills and why. I do think she's top 3. I do think she's the third best unit of the game, just below the Earth Goddesses, version 2 Goddesses, like version 2 Stacia Asuna and version 2 Solcino. And you can even say she's objectively better than them. Like, not objectively, but you can say she is arguably better than them, and I won't really say you're wrong, even though I do disagree with that. So let's take a look at her first skill, and this is the best charge in the game by far. This is the best charge in the game, that's it. Slash attack strong on a single enemy, lowers physical resolution by 20% for 1 turn, and current charge 20%. And the thing with these charge units is that you don't really use their assaults outside of the actual incarnate. Like when you do the incarnate, and then you have like these 4 hits, that's when you usually use assault on these charge characters. Otherwise, you always use the charge skill, which means enemy will always have their physical resolution lowered by 20%, which is really good. I wish OG Asuna had that, because OG Asuna is like one of my favorite units. I use her all the time. She's level 100 for me, and she's a really good unit. She's still a really solid unit. Probably, besides healers, the character that aged the best from the OG. 4 stars from like release 4 stars, or as I like to call them, starter 4 stars. But like she basically replaces her because she's the new best physical support. You'll see when we go for other skills. Her second skill is Solid Cleave and Grace A+. Is a slash attack extra strong on a single enemy and raises critical damage of all allies by 20% for 2 turns. What does that mean? That means that she's also raising crit. And it's actually the best crit buff in the game. Just for example, the version 2 goddesses, Stacia Asuna and Solcino, the ones that came with a ranking event, who I believe to be the best units in the game right now, they only have a 10% increase because they're just good in every single way. And they do a lot of damage. They heal, They remove debuffs, still the only 2 units to do that. They raise crit, that's why I do believe they're the best units in the game. I'm gonna talk about that more in my top 5 video. But the thing is, this assault is just so good. It's an extra strong on a single enemy, but like the support benefit, raising crit damage is extremely good, and raises by 20% for 2 turns, so you gotta see crits extremely often. And like, with crits, you do so much more damage than usual, it's actually crazy. And her third skill is Quick and Sharpness, raises attack of all allies by 15% for 2 turns short wait time after using the skill. As you know, these skills are really good in stuff like rankings, and just in general, because the thing is, with regular buff skills, like physical resolution buff, attack buff, like for example on version 1 SAOARS, it's pretty situational, because in some situations you're still gonna get that second turn in that one chain, let's call it that, in that one chain before the boss stacks. But sometimes, it won't happen, and she will move into the next chain. After the boss, she will get another turn after the boss stacks, But with this quick short time, you're always gonna have that second turn in one chain. You're always gonna get another turn before the boss attacks, like 90% of the time, unless you do this on your second turn you got. Then you obviously won't get a third turn, but you'll still get a second turn all the time, like 99% of the time. And she also has it higher than the others, because ours, I think, only have 10%. Or wait, do they have 15? I don't remember. Honestly, don't remember. Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, they do have 15. I just remembered because of Quinella. But yeah, it's a good effect. It's a pretty goddamn good effect. It's not 20%, so it's 5% less, but you get that. I bet you will do another turn of that. So her Incarnate skill, Blooming Heart level 2, is an Incarnate Slash on a single enemy, recovers HP Wick of all allies. So it's a good Incarnate skill. It's a pretty basic Incarnate skill, but it's a good Incarnate skill. Recovering HP weak on all allies is good. You do damage, you recover HP. We introduced that with version 2 Ronnie and Tease, if I remember correctly. And it's a good effect, don't get me wrong. It's just I prefer the Alice's effect over this one, I'll be honest. What I think they should have done is they should have made so she recovers medium HP of Alice, but that's really the only gripe, and even then you can call it a downside, but that's the only gripe I have with this Leafa. Like, she basically doesn't really have that much of downsides, you know, she does not have the best stats, I'll give you that. But that doesn't really matter in her situation, because she's not the damage dealer, she's a support, you know, and she's still gonna do a shit ton of damage. Like, she's still gonna do a lot of damage, even though she's a support. So yeah, and in terms of Alice, I do think Alice's biggest downfall, and her only downfall, is the debuff skill. As I already said in today's video multiple times, this debuff skill is 90% of the time useless, and even in those 10% of time, you have better options than to use this debuff skill. Otherwise, I do think both of these units are amazing. If you don't have light units, definitely do all 5 steps on this banner. With how free to play this game is, you can definitely do 5 steps once a month and still do like most of the discounts, or at least the main discounts on every other banner, you know, like on the main banner, not on the raid ups. And you still should be able to do on most the discounts on most raid ups. And you never know when we might get a free multi-summon again, because we got, with the last banners, we got free multi-summons, no pun intended, in a row. So yeah. But even if you have a lot of, you know, light units, like me, for example, before Vista dropped, the only light units I missed were the new Ts, version 2 Ts, and Fanatio. I'm still gonna tell you to at least do a free multi, obviously. Everyone should do a free multi. No matter who you are, you should do the free multi, obviously, because it's a free multi. But I think you should still do the discounts. These units are amazing. These units are meta. Leafa will work on almost every team. She'll work on every physical team. Alice will be also a staple on a magic team too. So yeah, definitely go for these two. But that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter @PositiveSane. You can also, again, as I already said, you can also join our SAO Rising Steel Discord. Link is in the description below, please join. And that's about it. I'm Positive and I'm out. Enjoy the summons. See ya.